What up? This is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Netflix's new movie, Infiesto. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, ring that bell, so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. Let's rock this. Infiesto is not bad at all. It's quite okay. It's a bit of a mixed bag, but it's not awful. This is a pretty dark, gritty, suspenseful detective story that kinda emulates the stylings of David Fincher. Perhaps writer-director Patsy Ameskua had either paid attention to or observed how David Fincher usually structures his mystery thrillers and aims to get close to that level as possible. Infiesto does have its weaknesses, however, in terms of fleshing out the character's struggles or dilemmas. And the mystery or the case itself is predictable to a certain extent. The dialogues are also sparse and lacking on some parts, but I noticed that that's a problem that many Netflix international films often share. That said, Infiesto is sufficiently riveting. It's a pretty decent thriller to keep you company on a Saturday night. Written and directed by Patsy Ameskua, Infiesto is set in March 2020. On the first day of the state of COVID emergency, two detectives are called to a small mining town in the Asturian mountains where a young woman who had been left for dead for months has suddenly appeared. As the world falls apart and personal tragedies strike everywhere, detectives soon realize that the virus may not be the only dark forces at work. What I truly appreciate about Infiesto is that it depicts the process of detective work in a genuine, authentic way, at least in the beginning parts of the movie, with the two characters driving back and forth chasing their lead. You see, sometimes a lead is worth pursuing, and sometimes a lead is just another dead end. We, the audiences, often get a glorified Hollywood version where something's always happening all the time. But we forget that leaving the office and coming back to the office and leaving the office again and coming back to the office again is part of the routine that all detectives go through until something clicks or their gut guides them to a substantial unraveling. Another thing that's effective to me is the fact that the story is set in the middle of the COVID pandemic. Because, they already had these red tapes and regular procedures, but now, on top of that, they also have to follow safety protocols before they can question a witness, for example. So it's another layer of difficulty that they either have to comply with or forcefully dismantle. To add to my point earlier regarding this film's weaknesses, especially the lack of chemistry between the two lead characters, the script makes it seem as if they've been partnered up for quite some time. But their personal problems and how those impact their team up, there's really nothing there. It's cold and insignificant. It's as if they're oceans apart from one another, even when they're in the same room together. Some of the direction and the cinematography are also mediocre. Much of it doesn't scream out distinctive nor interesting. And some of the reveals and the climactic moments leave much to be desired. I still stand by my opinion in that this is a worth watching detective story when you have nothing else better to stream on Netflix. Infiesto is a case of a movie that could have gone the distance, but for whatever reason, it chose not to. It's not a bad movie, but in so many ways, it could have been better.